Okay, so tonight we are going over, is it real, is it fake? Event postings and event sites, what to look out for, what to watch for. So there's always been a lot of different companies out there that will do the pay for, you have to pay to play, meaning if you want to take the stage and do a keynote, you're going to have to pay for it. That's been pretty standard for a long time. There's lots of opportunities that are still out there. Not that they're bad opportunities, as long as they are disclosing that to you up front, that you do have to pay if you want to do that keynote or that workshop, exactly what you're paying for, what you're going to get. Those have been pretty standard. In the past couple of years, we've seen a huge influx of other opportunities that may not be on the up and up, and also may not be safe. So a couple of tips I'm going to share today are some things that you definitely want to keep in mind when you are looking for events on your own, or if you are actually being approached by meeting planners individually. So first thing you want to watch out for is if a meeting planner is reaching out to you directly, you want to find out one key thing. Where did they hear about you? Did they do a Google search? Did they hear you on a podcast? Did they connect with you on social media? Did they see your profile on another speaker website? Try to find out where they found you from. So it kind of gives you an idea, number one, for marketing purposes, where leads are coming in from, but two, it kind of gives you an idea a little bit about the person's background too. The second thing that you want to do if they're reaching out to you is to find out where they're located. Not that it's bad if they are located overseas, but doing due diligence is going to be much more difficult if the event and the company you're dealing with is overseas. If they do not have a phone number for you to contact them, or if you reach back out and say, you know what, I'd love to talk about this, let's set up a Zoom call, you send them a link to your calendar or ask them to send you a link to theirs. If they're not willing to do that and they just want to chat via email or instant chat or through your cell phone, that's a huge red flag. They need to be able to get in front of you face to face, whether that's on video or a phone conversation where you can actually talk with them. You want to learn more about them. You want to see them, especially if this event is not local, meaning out of the country, okay? And this is for anybody, anywhere. If you're located in Canada, the event's in the United States, or it's in the UK or in Australia, those are some things that you want to watch out for. Another red flag is that if they are reaching out to you via social media, meeting on Facebook, on Twitter, or even on LinkedIn, again, do some more research, see how many common connections you have, look at their profile, how much are they posting, does it look like generic stuff? The reason you want to do this is for two reasons. Number one, it could be a scam where they're trying to scam you out of money, meaning they want you to front the bill for the hotel, or they're going to pay you, but you have to make your hotel reservation or your airline reservation, and they want all those details. No meeting planner is ever going to say, hey, Bob, I need you to come and speak at this event, but I need to know, let me know the details of, who you're using, or I want you to use my travel agent. That's going to be a big red flag. There's no reason behind that. If a legitimate meeting planner or event is going to cover your travel, they will have their travel agent reach out to you, and it's usually a national or international type of firm that will do that. They will have someone to handle all of that and get you booked, and they're actually paying for it, not you. They're not going to be asking you for any credit card information. So that's another red flag you want to watch out for. Another thing is too, if they don't ask you for anything and maybe they're you notice that they're liking your post on Facebook, or they're asking you for additional pictures, maybe for the, not just the website, but maybe for their booklet that they're putting together, or handout for the event. That can also raise red flags. There is a lot of not only sex trafficking in the hospitality industry, but also slave labor. Believe it or not, a lot of that still exists. And they are doing this, not only, a lot of people think that the only people who get trafficked are young children, young boys and girls. It is not like that. People my age, older than me, male, female, They will, if someone wants to kidnap you and put you in some type of binding opportunity that you can't get out of, they can do that. Again, it sounds perplexed and it sounds like, oh, that would never happen to me, but it can. So there's always that safety issue. So keep that in mind as well. If, red flags would be if they're asking you for additional pictures, asking you for funds, or asking you for your credit card information, to book the event. You really have to look at what is happening around the event, where it's at, how they found you. If they're sending you correspondence that does not look like it's professional, or that it's making you question things, at that point, yeah, you need to stop what you're doing and say, you know what, I don't think this is a good event for me, a good fit. I wish you the best of luck, and let them go. Now, if you do that and they come back and maybe they get a little bit more aggressive, then you clearly made the right decision. So you may even want to take that a step further and report it to your local authorities in your area. There's definitely a lot of dangers out there. Unfortunately, we live in that kind of world where things can definitely transpire out of what we think is an innocent little thing. But you kind of also have to look at this like dating, which sounds odd, but follow me for a moment. With the dating profile that you have online, and you're looking at other people's dating profiles, and let's just say you see someone out there that you're like, oh, this person looks great. You send them a request, you start talking online, maybe you start talking in person, or, on the phone or on Zoom or whatever. And then you decide you're going to meet in person, and, you get there and the person doesn't show up. Or maybe you get there and the person looks completely different. They want you to go somewhere else with them, or they're trying to get you to go into the car. You have to take it from the same standpoint that you have to really protect yourself, and, not only like let people know where you are, but if it feels like it's in your gut and you're like, this doesn't feel right, follow that gut instinct. And it's the same thing with events. So there is still a lot going on with that. Again, the hospitality meeting planning industry has done what it can to combat the sex trafficking or trafficking of people, period. But there's still so much more to do. So again, just as an extra layer of precaution, and maybe, it may not have even gotten that far, you never know, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So those are a couple of things that you can do. Now, as you're looking at different event posting sites, clearly, if you see something that you're like, hey, this looks really good, you apply. And same thing, you want to kind of have that same type of interaction with them, that they are interacting with you. There's it's being held at a major hotel. Another thing you can do, for example, if there's an event overseas that you really want to go to, but you're just still wanting to make sure, if it's being held at the Ritz-Carlton in London or wherever, you can call that hotel and just say, hey, I'm just kind of double checking to make sure you guys will still have room availability for, name the conference and the date. That hotel should be able to confirm when that is. If it's being held at a convention center, exact same thing. If you go to the convention center website and you don't see that event listed, red flag. You can always call the conference center and say, hey, I want to speak at this event. They're saying that they're hosting the event at your location. Can you double check that for me? Because too, they want to know as well, if people are using their event posting sites, or, saying, hey, we're going to be displaying at this hotel or whatever, they want to know about it, clearly, because that could be a safety issue that needs to be brought to their attention. So those are just a couple of things that you can do. But, as far as pay to play, to kind of go back to that, that is, unfortunately, in some events, it's common practice. And they're not the standard events that I would tell people to go to. I would not pay to speak at an event, but some people feel like, hey, it's worth it because the audience is my ideal audience that I want to get in front of. And, I know I can generate a lot of business out of it. Then great, look at it as a marketing expense and go pay, speak at the event, get the list, follow up with the leads, and so forth. But just because they charge doesn't mean that they're bad or that they have bad intentions. It just means that they're going to charge you to speak. And that's something you have to look at every opportunity and figure out what's going to be the right thing for you. So I hope this helps a little bit with filtering through some things that you may be doing on your own. And let us know if you have any questions.